Coming to you straight from the Rio Grande and beyond. Broadcasting to the four corners of the globe. So grab your seat, your coffee, or your sundowner.
Okay, everybody, here we go.
On point, as always. This is Gloves Off. Gloves Off.
So when I was working on Selena, the series for Netflix, to play the role of Abraham Quintanilla, I put on a specific amount of weight, which I was fine doing, but also realizing it could be difficult to get that weight off. I got back into my physical regimen with James Leja, but I was still having trouble with just those last amounts. And that's when I got to meet Arturo from Laredo Medical Weight Loss Clinic. And just the products that he gave me kind of put me over the edge. I feel great about myself.
We're back at you in Gloves Off. I'm here with a great guest, a man that comes from South Texas, fellow Tejano, and his name is Lazaro Garza. How are we doing today, sir?
Good morning, Paul. Thank you for having me this morning.
Well,
Foggy, but a beautiful morning.
It is a good morning. It is a good morning. And I want to thank you for standing up and signing your name on that dotted line. I'm going to tell you why. It's very hard a lot of people say there's a lot of things that are going wrong, and a lot of people will just talk, but very few would sign their name on the line to go for elections. So I always tell everybody, thank you for standing up. It's very few that stand up. And I want to ask you to tell us a little bit about yourself, and I know you're from South Texas, and who Mr. Lazaro Garza is.
Thank you, Paul. Lazaro Garza Jr., my dad, Lazaro Garza Sr., born in 1902, in Rio Grande, Texas. Su papa, Francisco Garza, born 1870, also in Texas. So the whole family was here before 1845, when Texas became a state of the United States. They were already here. We can trace my whole family all the way to 1545. But as far as myself, born in 1953, I'm number 10 of 13 children, born in Benavides, Texas. 9 girls, 4 boys. My brother is a very famous individual. We'll talk about him shortly. But more importantly, myself went to Corpus Christi Junior High in the 8th grade. Went through high school in Moody High School. My senior year, I was proud to have been elected student body president. Vietnam was in the middle of it. My brother had gone to Vietnam fighting in the Tech Offensive 68, 69. 67, 68, Tech Offense going on. Graduated 71, Tony Bonilla, Hinder Bonilla, they had LULAC scholarships, and they honored me with a scholarship. And I used to go to Tony Bonilla's office, and he would not give me a check, they would give me cash. And the reason was, I went to him and said, I got books, I got tuition, I got room and board, but I don't have any clothes, I don't have any shaving cream. I need shorts, tennis shoes, so he would give me the money. I don't know if he was ever reimbursed by. So education to me is so valuable. I'd go in there and he said, I don't care if you got D's, as long as you're still enrolled, not in probation, and you're passing, you get your money. And that went on 4 years. I remember he ran for office as mayor and he lost. And I lost touch with him many years later. 75, 71, I'm in Houston, Texas to go to law school. I'm gonna have a pre-law. I'm not a BA, it's a political science and history. I end up going to Houston, Texas, and I'm working sporting goods store, trying to get into law school in Houston. And a headhunter from Merrill Lynch approached me, buys me a free lunch on a Wednesday, that was my day off. Heck, I went downtown Houston, next thing I know I'm employed. I said, I have a job. He said, no, we want you to become a stockbroker for Merrill Lynch. At that moment in time in history, Merrill Lynch had only hired, or I was the second Hispanic, as they call us now, Mexicano, Chicano, depends if we're talking about 1973 when Ramsey Muñiz ran, made us Chicanos, next time they made us Tex-Mex, they made us Mexican American. Now we're white, others, Spanish surname, Latin surnames. They love to change their names every 2 years when they want our vote.
Absolutely.
So it's just endless what has happened to this country. I went to a fantastic meeting recently in San Antonio. All I could say was my name and what I was running. So CD 28, Congressional District 28, Lazaro Garza. And I said, if I can add, please. When I walked into this chamber, like your beautiful building that you have here where your school is, Paul, I told them, I walked in and you all were praying. Short of reaching into my pocket for a coin or a dollar bill, a $2 bill that I carry all the time, in God we trust. This country was founded in God, God-fearing God. Prosecution came here, started this. We were here already. Am I a Tejano? I'm not a Mexican.
Yeah,
So I don't know why they would call me a Tex-Mex or a Spanish surname, Latin. Well, the languages all derived from Latin. But the rest is history. I got into the oil field after I was a broker for Merrill Lynch, entrepreneur, had 70 employees, traveled all over the United States. I've traveled all over the world. So that's where my brother comes in, Second Amendment, hunting, guns. I was very fortunate to travel and hunt many trophies. As you can see in this would be magnificent room, you have some beautiful trophies yourself.
Thank you.
But my brother started a Muy Grande deer contest in Fort Texas in 1964. So when we talk about South Texas, there is not three industries. It's not tourism, it's oil and gas, which is one, farm, ranching. Guess what? I'm in oil and gas, where I made my wealth, fortune, whatever you want to call it, where I'm comfortable. Farming, I have a partnership with a gentleman. We do custom hay baling. And third, more importantly, farming, ranching. Ranching, I have a substantial amount of acreage where I have cattle. But the fourth industry, you can go into the website for the King Ranch and you can see where hunting is another industry here. All these ranches around Laredo would have all been sold, sir, if that had not been for hunting. My brother started a deer contest from Freer, Muy Grande deer contest in 1964. It blossomed from 50 cents an acre to hundreds of dollars an acre now. Hundreds because it's thousands. Because you take 20 or $25 an acre and multiply it. It's better than grazing rights. So, you know, you and I were having a conversation about this magnificent city that you live in. I used to love to travel to Laredo, not for the food, but the people that lived here, the camaraderie, just have a nice margarita and going back to Houston. Can you imagine driving all the way from Deer Leases to come here and eat? Now you can't do that without being not safe. We don't know what's coming across this border.
Yeah.
We're short of talking about Democrats. Not a single Democrat, including the gentleman that's there now. That's what I call him, a gentleman, because he, sir, is a United States sitting congressman. I am not. I'm talking to you, sir, and the people here in the South Texas, in District 28, the constituents, for their vote to replace him. But he has never voted. He used to, one of my words, because I go around the district talking to different groups, Democrats, just any group, church groups, whatever, and I said, there's two words, I am. Immigrants or immigration. I said, no, it is not. It is not immigrants or immigration. It is in. It's an invasion of our way of life.
Absolutely.
I dodged 20 individuals last evening going to Freer, Texas to another one of those meetings from Hebbronville, Texas. This morning driving from Hebron to Laredo, there was 3 bailouts. So where are all these people coming? Not a single one of them speaks Spanish. They're getting debit cards, they're getting cell phones, they're getting food, they're getting plane rides. They load up into a plane. Any of y'all travel recent, Paul? You got to go, they check your fingernails, they search you to get in a plane. These individuals that their TSA just letting them on. You don't know if this person's got measles, mumps. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, of course not. They got COVID, they got anything. They don't even search them. They don't check them for blood pressure. They don't check them for fever. They just put them on a plane next to you that you paid hard money to fly.
You know, Mr. Garza, you said a lot of great points there, you know, and
Thank you.
one, you know, we have a problem here, which is the illegal contraband of human trafficking, which has been going on for many years. I had a place in Zavala County, which we did hunting as well. That is one of the businesses that we had, which is exotic hunting, exotic animals. Every year, I think I found in 20 years, we probably found 3 individuals, bodies that died.
Cadavers, yeah.
You know, and I understand people coming over. America is the greatest country in the world, and but what's happening now? Before you used to have individuals that were coming, that were working for labor, that were working for this. Here it's a different type of individual. I had no idea that Somalia, Congo, Senegal, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq were our neighbors. I thought Mexico was our neighbor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
they don't eat tacos.
you know what I'm saying? So how are they getting across is, you know,
They're paid. Somebody's
paying them to come across through the Mexican
They're
side.
finding them in these countries, bringing them to the Mexican border. Somehow they get into the border, and then they're paying the turf. Like when we used to go through our ashtrays to go across to have a drink at the Cadillac bar or Lafitte's. We used to go through our ashtray to pay the 35 cents. These guys are paying thousands of dollars. Talking about the children trafficking, human trafficking. I'm talking about the children. There's 85,000, maybe 100,000 children that have been documented that they captured. Now they're missing.
Yeah, they're
Remember
missing.
when there was all this outcries about that he being the president correctly, that's why I have to call him, he is sitting president, uprising about these cages. Well, they left the cages open, so where did the children go? They don't know where this 85 to 100,000 documented now. What about this 3 million or 5 million people that have come into this country? Where are they? That they're gonna show up to a meeting? What about all the people that did come across legally?
Legally.
They came and they paid hard dollar, worked on the farms, cutting leña, you call it mesquite tree in South Texas, for food, for not only to eat, because they needed it for cooking, but also for heat. It just, Paul, I come from humble beginnings. We had a 3rd floor in my home. My dad would stay up at night and make brasas and bring them in a bucket. And they had a pitcher with water. I never understood what it was for. It was carbon monoxide. Put vapor, moisture into the air. He stayed up all night for all 13 children, all night. After working all day, staying out in the cold weather, burning mesquite to bring coals in to keep us warm. Central Air, come on.
Yeah,
Central Air was open the windows.
yeah, no, it's that you
And
know
these
what?
people are here. You know, Laredo was built of people like that.
Yeah, Laredo has a great history. It's a beautiful community. Laredo has it's the only city in the nation that has 7 flags. It was the Republic of the Rio Grande that was here at one particular time before the Republic of Texas. It's a very proud history. My family's been around
Not
for
Six
very long.
Flags, not
Yeah.
6 Flags in San Antonio.
7
It's not an
flags.
amusement center.
Right.
This is 7.
This
Yes.
is 7 flags. And what I see is, if it wasn't for the last couple of years, from 2020 to the present, 2020 will open the eyes of many people. Laredo's hurting. A lot of people say, no, it's not, it's hurting. Yes, it's a number 1 port, both land and sea. It's a number 1. But at one particular time, like we were talking earlier, Laredo was the 2nd fastest growing city in the nation.
Next to Las Vegas. And
Next
that
to
was
Las
gambling.
Vegas.
That was Las Vegas because people were flocking to Las Vegas. And Laredo was right about to pass it. And one day to the next, it's gone.
It's gone.
So
What happened?
Paul and I, it's a horrible way of thinking. The hole has been dug of Laredo.
Yeah.
The only thing they haven't done, Paul, as you and I discussed it, quote you, sir, they haven't thrown the dirt over it.
This past administration that was here, have you seen the small businesses here? If you go to the mall, the stores are closed.
No.
I mean, there's like 60% of the mall is closed. You drive around, you see new businesses coming up, and you see restaurants popping up, and you go into the restaurant and there's nobody in there, but yet they're making a living and they're doing this. What's going on here? I hate to think nefariously, right? And I hate to judge, or who am I to judge? But it seems to me that a lot of these small businesses that are popping up are just basically laundromats for a lot of other nefarious businesses.
Illegal activities.
And so, where's Laredo going? I mean, where is it? But during 2020, what opened my eyes is the following. If it wasn't for a congressman, if it wasn't for State Representative Richard Raymond, State Representative Tracy King, and Webb County,
No money would have come in.
no money would have come into Laredo. And money came.
Taxes, but it disappeared.
And it disappeared. And then, and Laredo's in a bad place. I mean, we got some people in City Hall that some of them are in reality and some of them are not. And there's a big coalition to open up some kind of binational park. There's a lot of different plans, stories going on that's going to have trails that you can walk to Mexico and they can walk back, and you can ride your bike and you can do this and you can do that. And this is going to stretch for 6.5 miles.
$16 million. Those $16 million could be used for poor people who can't afford walkers, providers to come and give them medications. $16 million could have been for infrastructure, for the roads that you have that are completely been destroyed because of the oil and gas industry at one time. But it's gone too now. So that tax base is gone. Tax base. The tax base to what? The poor people of this town are buying food, they're buying milk, and they're paying how much? 20, 30, 40, 50% more than where they were 4 years ago, or 3.5 years?
You know, and a lot of people don't know I'm an executive chef, so I'm always watching how the food prices are going up and down. And in 2019, a carton of eggs cost you $1.39. Right now it's $4.75.
$4.75. $3 showed up out of nowhere.
Okay, $3.75. So that's just to make things go around. But what went back?
Feed,
Feed.
trucking, but labor didn't go up.
But labor didn't go up.
Labor, I mean, everybody here in this town did not get a raise like in California. They're paying $20 for McDonald's.
Yeah. So you know the issue with the immigration has been an issue that's been ongoing for many years, and I blame both Democrats and Republicans up there sitting down in D.C. have been kicking that can down the road.
It's called this, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, that Paul.
Seesaw.
They point there, that he said, she said.
She said, and then we're gonna do, and they're gonna do, and we're gonna do, and they're gonna do,
And
and we're all
nothing
gonna
gets
do,
done.
and
And
nothing
who
gets
gets
done.
hurt?
Everybody.
The poor local people. I bleed for this beautiful district. Like I said, my great-grandparents, my grandmother, full-blooded Indian, 1800s. She delivered 11 of their 13 children, Paul. 11 of the 13 children in the little house that at one time the kitchen was dirt floor. You know, years later, my father was able to afford to pour a concrete floor. But it was a mixture of concrete and lime, just something to where you could step on instead of dirt. I don't know, probably people in the audience will remember that they used to heat up lime in hot water and they poured it to harden it up. It's called ram dirt. In West Texas, out to Rectwinkle and Pecos area, way out there in the middle of nowhere, they still have ram dirt. If you have dirt floors, the county authorities cannot tax you for that home or that residence because it's dirt. There is no concrete, there's no wood, no base. I was shocked to find out, but not that I would want to have a dirt floor because squirrels and snakes.
Kinds of things, yeah.
Anything, but you're laying there in the kitchen, all of a sudden there's a hole pop up, one of the ground holes.
Yeah. And what happens is that a lot of people don't know that, and a lot of people have not lived that. That was the way of life here in Texas, you know, and that's what's made us Tejanos resilient to a lot of things.
Tejanos, good word.
Tejanos Facility Ciudad.
Someone, I was in one of this GOP meetings in San Antonio. I was one in Freer yesterday. I've been to Stark County. I've been to Zapata County. Somebody asked me, well, what'd you do different? Really, I'm not a United States congressman. First, I would stop the border. The current congressman, just 3 days ago, jumped up and he used one of my words. Mr. Biden, I will go to the president, Mr. Biden, President Biden, and say, need to stop this invasion. Really? Now? We're going to stop the invasion after they're here? Isn't it a little late? Excuse me, Paul, but when we were growing up, dinero en mano, chivo afuera. We remember that. Because once you get that goat out of that pen, if you don't get paid, that goat's going to be ate. And it's history. And that's where we're at.
Yep.
And I hadn't thought about it till the day when we were talking. Then I said, chivo en mano, dinero en mano, chivo afuera.
Yep.
And but they have already let the goat out. The people are here. What are we going to do with them? You'll never find them. Or those 75, 80,000. I have no idea how many children. Documented, I know 85,000. But they don't know where they're at.
Yeah.
Children being sold like commodities. Commodities. A child,
we
male,
thought about
females, whatever.
whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And it's out there. A lot of people think slavery hasn't stopped. Slavery's alive, kicking still in this.
That was not in 1800.
And so that's happening now. Now people jump up in joy that it was Emancipation Proclamation was made and done. But how about now? How about now?
No, it's still here.
It's still here.
Exploitation of these poor people. Like again, I don't know who Somalia, Pakistan that are coming. I was in San Antonio, Paul. I flew in to go to a petite meeting south of San Antonio, Atascosa County, where I walked into the airport lobby. There was 200 individuals sitting on the floor, and they were handing them out phones and chargers, a piece of bread, no meat, fruit baskets, apple, bananas, oranges. They could get whatever they wanted. Had a little bag. Reminded me when we were children, we got for Christmas, a licorice or a little candy cane for Christmas. But not a single one spoke Spanish. Not a taco, a piece of white bread. There was 10 translators, not a one in Spanish. Somebody asked me, he said, what were they talking? I said, I don't know. I haven't been to those countries.
It's funny. And
But it wasn't English, it wasn't Spanish.
I'm not against immigration.
No.
We want immigration. We need to do it correctly. My wife's from Brazil. Okay, I immigrated her here. Right now, I have to go back to Brazil. My visa just expired. You should see the documentation I have to send.
You have to go through it.
I have to go to just to redo my visa again.
But anybody else from the whole world can walk right across.
But anybody else, yeah, exactly right.
And they get a phone. They get a debit. Oh, I forgot the debit cards too.
No, the debit card.
300, 500,000. In Arizona, there's a church out there screaming that they're 1,000, 3,000. I don't know if that's proven fact, but he did come on, and not CNN, but he came out on Fox saying, "Hey, this debit cards are 1,000, 3,000."
But
that's unbelievable. Somebody's paying for that. We're paying.
We're paying for it. It's called the American people are paying for it. New York just passed. They came out and they said that if you have an extra bedroom, that they're going to place
somebody
to family to live with you. I mean, now they're taking away your homes. They already took away the schools over there for the children. Now they're sticking them in the schools and they're leaving them in schools. Now they're going to take away your homes. People, this is serious. And
I keep on saying, I saw 20 buses leave Hebbronville 3 weeks ago. 20 buses in Hebbronville, Texas. 20 buses. I have a home about 2 blocks away from the human warehouse, is what I call it. It's the immigration checkpoint office. 20 buses. And I walked up to the fence. I know some of the officers. And I said, I hope you gentlemen, not guys, gentlemen, are sending them to Chicago. It's cold in Chicago. I've lived in Chicago. Now, our other minority, the blacks, they're complaining because they're taking their homes from them. They're taking their welfare money from them. And they're just letting them in. They've destroyed California, Chicago. We know what's happened to New York. New York's about, somebody needs to turn off the light. When the last person walking out of New York needs to turn off the lights. the tax base, Laredo the same way. If you don't have all these businesses, look at this beautiful place right here where you have this office or this beautiful school, Paul. Look at how many places are closed already. They got beautiful marquees with beautiful names, but they're closed. There's no furniture, no light bill. Nobody's buying lights, nobody's buying water, nobody's paying sales tax or property tax because they're closed.
Well, they'll pay the property tax.
Private tax,
They'll take them away.
the landowner of this property, yes, has to pay sales tax, but the tenants are gone.
Yep.
Tenants are gone.
You know, and
No gas is being bought to bring the cars in here. Nobody's fixing tires. Nobody's washing cars. You know, nobody's buying oil to change oil changes. Can't afford it.
And let's come back with what we said about the immigrants going out. The other day, I had a problem with a truck. My truck, that's one of the sensors has been going off. I've been going in and out of the shop for a sensor that it just turns it off.
Sensitive and low
Yeah.
to go through.
And they fix it 4 or 5 times. You're just driving, it just shuts off. It says you have no gas. You can be filled well anyway. And you just put a gallon gas in and it restarts again. Oh, everything's fine and dandy. So I was downtown and I ended up downtown. And when I was putting gas and I walked in and paid and I was putting gas, I saw, because number one, yes, we speak Spanish, right? Our accent's a lot different than the people that speak in Mexico, the Spanish in Mexico.
Go to Louisiana, they tell us we got an accent. You already hear that.
Exactly. And the accent from Mexico, from region to region, is different.
Yep.
And the way you go down to South America is different. If you speak Spanish with a Puerto Rican, yes, you can understand each other, but it's different. It's just like speaking with South African.
Portuguese.
And everything else. The accents are different. And guess what happened here? You can tell that they weren't from a Mexican because of the accent. The words they were using. And all they were doing was heckling the women that were going in and out of the store.
Trying to destroy business.
Yeah, until finally I went in to pay, and they were telling this one girl this and that and this and that. And until finally I told them, hey man, what are you guys here for?
You buying?
You know?
Shopping?
You know what I'm saying?
Like the old saying, you kicking tires?
And respect the women. And when I turned around, there was a line of them that went around the corner. And it goes, oh, it's because we're over here. Yeah, but there's a difference between us helping you and you coming over here and disrespecting the people that are walking in and out of the door. Learn something because we're helping you guys coming in here.
And
you guys respect the women that we have here because then we're going to have problems.
And if we call them ladies, I have 9 sisters.
Exactly.
Women, ladies. Now,
ladies.
Now they're trying to pass, say we can't call a woman a woman. Where did this come from? My mother had 13 children, and I can't call my mother mother, or I can't call her a woman. Let's not go into that, but it's happening to our world.
What I'm getting at is we're going to start seeing the cultures are going to clash. And that clash is going to develop into some other elements that are going in. You're seeing it in New York. You're going to see it in all of them.
It's what happened in the Civil War. We had the North, we had the South. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine you have multiple South and North? Because they're here, they're different. Somebody's going to whistle, Paul. I'm worried about this summer that somebody's not going to just say, and everybody jump up. All these people that came in. When I use the word BLM, Bureau of Land Management, because I have some property in Wyoming, and Black Lives Matters. What happened with Black Lives Matters? 12% of the population are black, are other minority. We are a minority. And they showed up and almost burned this whole country. What happens if it's all these people, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, if they all just jump up in the middle of this coming up an election, and they say, if Trump, he gets elected, he gets the endorsement, he's going to run for Republican president.
And for everybody to stand up.
And he's going, and they all stand up because he's going to deport him. Because he's already said massive deportation. What is this government ready to do? Martial law and cancel the election? Like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but if we saw any practice venture was Black Lives Matter. And what happened to all the millions of dollars that was collected? Disappeared also too, like the federal money that you said came to here, disappeared.
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of things that are wrong that we need to fix, and immigration is one of them. There's a lot of other things.
We start there, then Go into education.
Education's another one. Education, here in Laredo, there's something that I'm fighting against. It's something called school to prison pipeline districts.
Yes.
And we have one here. We really have to do some legislation up federal to protect all the children throughout, because these school districts are all over the place. We also have to do police reform, protect our good badges, and remove the knuckleheads from office and from badges, because those are the ones that are giving our good badges a bad name. We have a lot of great badges out there. So there's a lot of stuff that we have to do to get our country back again and to start moving forward. And we need people that are willing to do that and can no longer just boviate and just go out there and pander to the public. We need people that are going to do, you know what, we're going to get this done.
Fantastic, Paul. Thank you so much for having me this morning. It's beyond words, just to be here in this fine facility that you've built to educate. Remember, educate. You're not training nobody, you're educating them. Self-defense, respect, values, integrity, work ethics. It is a work. It is a job. It is a work ethic. That's what my parents or my dad taught me as a young man. My birthday is this Friday. I'll be 71 years old, Paul.
Well, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And, when you were walking in, you were seeing me carry some boxes in. And this is what was inside the box for you guys out there.
And I'm going to get the first one, and I will give him my pen that was given to me by a very good friend of mine, Mr. Robert Kramer.
And this right here this is my 16th book that I've written on the subject matter of what Savat is. And you, sir, you're sitting inside the first school of Savat here in the United States.
And I'm going to get you to autograph that for me.
I will do that. Trick.
So that's the first one out of the box.
First one out of the box. We've got 10 more coming in, and they're going out to all the schools. You can
actually predate it and go for, say, 1/26/24. The way you gave it to me on my birthday. I'll, in case I wanted to donate money or pay for it, I can say it was my birthday gift.
No, you don't have to pay for it.
Thank you, Nelson. Thank you.
This has been here for a long time. Savat is a element here that's been around in Texas. A lot of firsts have happened from this school.
Yes,
but
I see
the patinas up in the walls.
I see your uncle up there.
Yeah, and we had a great.
And I wouldn't know that was your uncle. You pointed him out.
It was also we had Baby Ray Palacios.
Yes, I know him very well. He
one of the best boxers in the world.
I'm wearing one of his monograms. He has a monogram shop. Actually, if I take my shirt, he monogrammed his sleeve. It's Ranch. It's LRG Ranch. That's my name of my ranches in South Texas. But I don't call them ranches. I call it ranch. Thank you for doing that, Paul. I'll treasure that. I'll go back to our college or back to our place of business or home. Your mom would always come up to you, and I just tear up when she would touch you, and they would take their finger, just like they would put in ashes on National History on your forehead and said, "Vaya con Dios." So thank you for that, sir.
Thank you,
Robert Kramer would be proud that I still have it.
Number one, keep pushing forward. Folks out there, research everybody in the elections and research everything that's going on, and go out there and vote. Exercise that right to vote, and keep moving forward. Remember, we live in the best nation there is. Sir?
Thank you, Paul.
It's a pleasure.
It was a pleasure for you to drive over here this morning with the fog. Not that I needed to see 4 or 5 bailies and dodge them like last night. I had 20 of them going across, and I just finally break. I figured not a deer or a pig, they were human beings going across the road, one after the other. Then I called immigration. They're going to do the best they can.
The other day I was talking to somebody who was hunting, and he goes, what you seen? He said, I saw 3 coyotes. But how come you didn't shoot anyone? Because they would have put me in jail.
Yeah.
But it was human coyotes.
They were human coyotes.
Folks, you all stay safe, be safe, and God bless you guys.
God bless you, United States.
One of the reasons I joined Buitron Academy here and enrolled my son is the legitimacy of the school.
No tenemos palabras maravillosas, sinceramente no tenemos ninguna palabra negativa, estamos totalmente agradecidos. Lo único que yo podría decir como madre es que se animen completamente a venir a traer a sus hijos aquí a la academia. Totalmente es una experiencia muy bonita.
Overall, the academy is I've had a great experience with it, and I would encourage anyone who would want to become a better version of themselves to join.